a sacrifice induced for the altar of your vanity. A jealous, hungry God, craving praises of profanity. With bedroom dark and dine, and a deep mouth stained with wine, it drinks its fill. It was your mothers, not your brothers, that agreed to feed you poison. This egregious lack of choice indeed seemed fit to join your voice in, with lies disguised as prizes of reason and wisdom, with briberies of finery to weaken any criticism. Can the fly invade the blossom that devours it? A mouth that lies in wait for a gift of life to shower it.
Alright, welcome back. It is session 101. Of course, last game was a special where we saw Corsican invasion from the eyes of the Corsicans. And now we're back to our normal game session. So it has been a couple of months since we met up with your characters. It is about late March 90 BC. Several months have passed. The news of the war has been quite terrible. Rome and her loyal allies have lost several important battles. It's holding for now, but her armies have been constantly on the retreat and things look very grim. In fact, this very morning, the consul Lucius Julius Caesar proposed a law granting citizenship to all allies who had not rebelled against Rome. This news is spreading as fast as fire through the city. More importantly, those of you who lair within the cult or have close ties to its people have begun to realize that there's a great restlessness within it. There are whispers in the rooms and the halls that speak of leaving, seeking out intermediaries with the gods who do not leave them. Normally, Hatshepsut would be there for this sort of thing, but it's been almost a year since she disappeared, and the cult needs her. There are several pregnant women, and there's no one there to bless them or watch over their births, which is a function she normally does. The Latin festival of bond renewal is approaching. This is an annual festival, and this would be a perfect opportunity to find a way to renew these bonds of the cult to you, if you can figure out how to do it. Alright, but we are going to actually open the game session with feeding scenes for everybody. So, let's start with Albina. Albina, you feed socially, basically, right?
Yes.
Alright. Roll me 5 dice. This is just difficulty 4. Find yourself a warm, relaxed party in which to join. Awesome. As expected, knowing the city as well as you do, you make your way through the dark streets. Sorry, I don't know why I'm suddenly yawning so much. I haven't... So you make your way through the streets. It is quite dark outside, very cloudy, overcast. There's a light drizzle. The streets are packed with the sick, the dead, and the dying. It has been a harsh winter, and many people froze to death on the streets. The survivors, of course, happy to be alive. You find a nice gathering center, a large area of fast food, some wine flowing, a fire, the heat within the building is as much from the packed bodies as it is from the fire and the food. You, of course, make your way inside. You are accustomed to blending in, and you begin working your way through the crowd, attempting to find someone who on which you can feed. So we are going to do 2 rolls. And the 2 rolls are going to be the 2 stages of seduction. If I can find the system. Haha. Riding, shadowing, sneaking, swimming, lifting. Here we go, social feats. Alright, so you're going to roll your appearance plus subterfuge. Pick out a likely target and begin making your approach. Get them interested in you. Difficulty is going to be 5. Right? You have selected a likely looking man out of the crowd. Seems to be hanging with some friends, buddies. Decent clothing. It's got evidence of hard work on his hands. Decent but not rich. If he dies, his friends would miss him, but probably no one else of any consequence. As I said, the wine is flowing. They're just a teensy tiny little bit drunk. They're speaking of the day's labor, and you will make your way up to them and insert yourself into the conversation. Alright. Second roller, we're just going to skip this and go ahead and roll your charisma plus empathy. Once again at difficulty 5. Yep, there we go. 5 successes, easily enough to overcome your, I was gonna say, your skin condition as a barrier to that, but you've easily overcome that through the conversation. You insert yourself. They're talking about the day's labor, bricklaying, building buildings. They've all got a few coins jingling in their pockets. Through some pleasant conversation, you convince them to buy you some alcohol. You fake drinking it. And slowly, through the next half an hour or so, you begin to peel him away from his friends and to lead him outside to a sheltered area you know where you can be undisturbed. How do you proceed?
Bring him outside into the shadows. She's going to proceed to be carefully, what's the word, rubbing herself on him, but careful to not allow her skin to touch his own, not wishing to give much away about her conditions with her cold, dead skin. Before using her potency, she's going to be becoming more forceful with him, eventually grabbing onto him, biting onto him.
Right? Yeah, he's receptive. Jokes about taking you home and warm you up. He seems to miss the fact that as the drizzling rain splashes on your the exposed bits of skin on your feet or on your hands, that it instantly forms little drops of ice. Easy to overlook in the nighttime darkness, and as you snuggle up, you kind of fake stumbling and you jam him up against the wall, and he's like, "Whoa, hey, what's that?" And then you bite into him, and his hot blood begins to pump into you, and he sags as you hold him up. The beast within you, of course, demands that you take and take and take until your body can hold no more. Do you rein in, or do you take until your beast is satisfied?
How much down in blood would I be at this point?
It doesn't matter. It's up. Do you take until the beast is happy, or do you rein it in and say no? I will decide how much is enough.
She's going to be stopping for now. She's not going to be doing the will of the beast. She does not. She does not need to thin the herd at this point.
You drink until his pulse begins to slow and the spurts are coming less powerfully. And despite your beast demanding that you take more, and in fact, it begins to fight against you. You have a victim here. You could finish it. You could eat it all. You could take it. Well, how is this to stop you? Why would you need to stop? I would like you to roll your instinct at difficulty 3. You rolled conviction. I need you to roll instinct.
I do not have instinct. I have self-control.
Okay. I apologize. Roll self-control, difficulty 3. Excellent. You repress the beast. You do not need to kill here. And this has nothing to do with morality and everything to do with realizing that because you don't need to do it, you're not going to do it. Eventually, you let the body sag down against the wall. He's going to live. You're pretty certain. He's still alive when you walk away. And you fade out into the night, back to your own studies and your own business. Andronimus. Let's talk about how you feed. How do you feed? What's your preferred method?
For most nights, it's feeding on animals. Occasionally feeding by seduction when the beast is getting angry enough that it's just more risky to keep feeding on animals at that point.
All right. Would you like high or low?
High.
All right. It has been more than a week since you have fed on the potent human blood. The thin vitae of animals has grown unpalatable to you. The rats and the occasional cat or stray dog, it's just not enough anymore. Your beast demands more, better.
So, basically, plan is generally going over to like a town or something. Mingling with people, taking someone around, and then discreetly taking a couple blood points.
All right. You being a wanderer and a purveyor of horseflesh, have found yourself somewhat near the Circus Maximus. There are a number of stables there, and people who breed and sell horses can often be found in the area. So people who know their horseflesh are there. Of course, the avid game fans and such have their own special little places where they go, the teams that they worship and such things. You head inside. Rome, you've been here for somewhat like 6 months or so. So you're still feeling out whom is it safe to feed? On who is a good target? Who's not a good target? How do you like to attract people? Do you like to tell great stories? Are you just like to pop a few handsome muscles? Maybe do you utilize your illusionary powers for your benefit? How do you attract such prey?
Um, probably a bit of storytelling thrown in, but mostly just sort of friendly attitude and combined with uh, a very fine appearance.
All right. Well, we're going to do some carousing. You're going to convince them that you are there to have a good time with them. You're one of them. You just haven't been in the area, and you definitely are not here to make them look bad. So let's roll some charisma and empathy. Difficulty 6.
Hold on. Difficulty 6, did you say?
Yes, I did. Okay. It takes a while. People are giving you the cold shoulder. The night is chill. The weather's wet. People here are surly and suspicious. They haven't been able to see their chariot races in a while. They're just generally not happy. And it takes quite a lot of time to overcome their natural reticence to trust a strange new face.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually you do begin to worm your way into their good graces. Right? You begin to find yourself the subject of some conversation. People you get involved. Things begin to pick up around you, and the conversation turns to horse flesh. And I would like you to roll your. You can make a choice. You can roll your appearance and performance to tell a bunch of stories and just in general have a good time, or your wits plus ride to talk about your own particular horse and get involved in that kind of, how people begin to talk about stats of their favorite sport players and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of conversation you are having.
I think I'll go with Wits Ride. That is
All right.
that is 3 successes.
You have successfully convinced someone to come out with you to look at your horse, that you can verify how good your boasts are and how strong your horse is. And someone's like, all right, I'm calling it. You need to prove this. Let's go. So the two of you head out to the stables where your horse is been stashed away. It's nice, it's dark, somewhat warm thanks to the horse flesh, and isolated. Easy prey, easy area for you on which to feed. So you take him to the horse, and he's looking at it, and he kind of pats it, and he's like, I gotta tell you, man, I'm getting convinced you did a great job. Now's your chance to strike. What do you do?
I sort of I edge closer, just sort of look to him, look at him closely in the shadow, just say,
It got really quiet. You still there? Anybody?
Here.
Yeah.
I think his internet might have fucked up something.
Yeah. Man,
Maybe
what a
send a
moment.
message to him.
All right, did that. Man, what shitty timing. All right. Let's move onwards. Decius, you have a herd on which to feed. Your feeding is assured. So does your Bruja. Your gangrel. He has as a bodyguard. He's met many people. He's got a decent understanding on whom he can feed. But let's talk about Shag. He has been quite busy doing your bidding, keeping up with his information gathering, trying to track down the men who had been buying weapons and such. And as a result, he hasn't had a time to build a herd. He hasn't had an opportunity to assure his own supply. And tonight he needs to feed. And this night finds him standing outside of a small domus. It was a shop, or it is a shop. It's been closed up for the night, all the goods taken inside, the door shut. Family lives on the second floor of this building. And if he's going to feed, he has to find a way inside.
Okay.
So his beast urges. There's just something about this family. He just wants to feed on it. There's just something. He's just like I've picked out this couple and I'm going to feed on them, and God help them if their kids get in the way. So how does Shag do it? What's he do?
Okay. So this place, is it covered by walls? Or I mean like outer walls?
It's a standard wooden building. He's standing outside.
Okay. He would be obfuscated, of course. He would essentially circle around the building to see if there's like a back entrance kind of place.
There is
Something-
not. There is another building that is back to back.
Okay. So the only entrance is the front door
Correct. And a window,
and the window. Okay,
which
do I
of
see
course
through
is
the,
shut. But yes, you
do
see
I
it.
see through the window?
It is shut. It is
Okay.
wooden shutters.
Okay. I think what I will do is activate use the obfuscate 1 and 2 essentially, and go slowly towards the main door and try to open it as quietly as possible.
Okay. Well, utilizing the power is no problem, of course. And you make your way across the mud and the animal droppings and the people sleeping in the corners. And make your way up to the door. Roll your dexterity and legerdemain to slip your knife into the cracks around the door and jimmy the bar open.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
If I take some of my time, can I get 1 extra dice?
I mean, take some of your time. You are taking your time.
Okay. Start. Ledger domain.
All right. It takes quite a while. You can't hear what's going on with the door. All you can do is feel as you slip your knife blade through a crack, and you are feeling around. And sometimes you feel it lift and fall. It shifts. It jimmies. It moves. But eventually, you get the rhythm down, and you feel it thunk, and you're able to push the door open.
Okay. And I know the family is in the second floor.
Yes, you slip inside. The lower floor is quite crowded. It's got a bunch of fruit and some undyed leather goods, some standard fare. Obviously, they have some friends in the leatherworking business who have provided them with stuff to sell, satchels and maybe some clothing. There's a really nice cape that's was marked that you heard them hawking earlier for a fair price, very rich price, but fair. And you see a ladder that is positioned so that, and Shag is actually tall enough that he has to duck somewhat to avoid scraping the top of the ceiling. And you see a ladder that goes up a hole that leads to the second area, the second level.
Okay.
And it's quite dark in here. The only reason you can see in here at all is leaving the front door open. Once you shut it, it's going to be almost completely black.
Okay. Yeah, the only option seems like I have to climb up, so I will try to carefully close the door, of course. I don't want to leave it open, it might get some attention, so I will close the door. But before closing the door, I will get a nice view of the ladder and such that just keep it in my memory. And close the door. And then very carefully, obfuscate still active. Slowly, ever slowly climb. Try my best to be like a predator, like a ambush predator, essentially.
Yes, you carefully feel your way across the ground floor, shuffling, feet carefully to avoid tripping, hands out to the sides, feeling all the goods and the fruit and everything. And you make your way to the ladder, you climb up. The second floor is just as dark as the first level, and the family is presumably asleep in the dimmest of dim that you can make out. All you can do is barely make out in the blackness a few mounded forms, which you presume are the sleeping family. Mother, father, perhaps a grandparent, and some children.
Yep. I assume the grandparent is sleeping alone.
They are all. You don't know. The entire floor is one even level. There's no
Okay.
bedrooms.
Okay.
Everyone's laid out on the floor.
Okay, everyone is laid out on the floor. In that case, I will try to... I will slowly approach, looking at the ground so I see where I'm stepping before I step, essentially.
Would like you to roll your have him roll his perception and stealth.
Okay.
Difficulty is going to be 8 because you can lower it if you have auspex.
Let me check. I don't think, but maybe. No, I don't. Perception stealth, difficulty 8. I don't think he would have. Nah, he doesn't have anything. Okay. Okay. Three success.
All right. You make your way up. You, on all fours, like an animal, crouch and creep, feeling with your fingertips the edge of the blankets, steadily working your way around, careful not to trip over the baskets or crates that hold their meager possessions. And the more you crouch and the more you circle, you realize that there are 4 sleeping forms, and they're all huddled back to back or back to front, as the case may be, spooning each other, basically. You make your way to one side, what you perceive to be the larger side. Begin to peel the blanket back, and you see the sleeping form of a man with his face turned towards you.
Okay. There's this moment of staring, essentially. That full awareness of just knowing his place in this house. Shaq knowing his place in this house. Just full awareness of his environment. Looking at these 4 packed humans, there's this tension he's feeling, which makes him more careful, of course. With that tension just ever slowly creeping behind his neck, he tries to find a nice spot on this man's body, somewhat comfortable spot. Tries to slowly approach with his head towards this spot, extending his fangs, and then piercing the skin and trying to drink the blood.
He does so, and given that he has been surviving on animal blood for a few days, the minute such a potent, the potent blood of this father reaches him, his own Henderson's, Shag's own beast roars within him. You can taste this man's his hard work and his success at running this business, his love for his family. Everything just kind of washes over Shag, reminding him of the things that he no longer has. That he can't have a wife, he can't have such a child, he can't even have an appearance. Not like Decius, not like even his gang girlfriend now. Such things are denied to him. And you feel the beast within him rages, and it wants to take it and make it his own. Roll his self-control at difficulty 7.
Okay. So. Okay.
Right. Shag fights his inner war with his beast. And this time, he wins. But he still has to make the choice. Does he take until the beast is satisfied, or does he stop while the man is still alive?
Jack still has.
Don't look at his blood pool. Just tell me what he does.
Not blood pool. I looked at his humanity. Shag is still pretty humane person, despite everything. So he will not risk killing this person. He will take only 2 blood points, essentially.
Right. You take until, again, you feel his heartbeat slow just a little bit. and you lick the wound shut and creep back down the ladder. Now I need a dexterity and a legerdemain roll from him to attempt to put the bar back on the door,
Okay.
to erase the evidence of his nighttime entry.
Yep. Exert a legerdemain. Okay.
Again, it takes him a long time, but he does eventually succeed. It's as if
Makes
he was
sense.
never there.
Yeah. It's. I assume it will be quite uncomfortable to try to put the bars back on while we are also trying to leave, so it makes sense that it takes some time.
Alright, we're just waiting on...
Did you send him a message?
Yes, it did. Just waiting on Andronimus to get back. So while we're waiting on that, Decius, Drusilla, Euphemia, has prearranged a meeting time with you. Drusilla, when she arrives at the designated time, you remember, you haven't really interacted with her much, but you know who she is. She is a member of the First Citizens inner circle. She was among the first followers of Tanit Bal Sahar, a beloved member of the Sinners, of the Via Desirade, the Road of Desire.
Do I know what kind of title I need to refer her with?
She has no title.
So do I just say lady?
That would be fine.
Okay.
Drusilla has this aura about her of gentleness and sanctity. She comes across as being quite pure. If someone even, it's difficult for someone to even think about being harsh or mean to her, or even like doing something terrible to her. It's just something about her that makes such a course of action seem almost unthinkable. She is a very pale woman with the dark hair, cut very short in direct rebellion against the customs of Rome. Typically, their hair of Roman women is quite long. She is dressed in the same fashions normally that she normally is. You've seen her about, as I have said several times. Her appearance really is only remarkable for the fact that she's decently good looking, and like I said, she's somewhat androgynous. She could pass as a man if she wanted to. And I believe you can find her character on the Discord page of art. I posted her earlier today, so
I'm looking at her.
She comes in. She has she was brought here on a litter. And she comes in. She has a single manservant with her. Everyone else stayed outside. Manservant appears to be normal in every way. He takes her soiled sandals and stuff, cleans her off, takes her cloak and stuff off, and hands it to your manservants, who are in your estate. And then he sits to wait in this designated area while the two of you go to discuss business.
Okay. Of course, Decius and his household welcomes her as the traditions dictate, respect and other kind of mannerisms.
Yeah, she comes in, and it looks like she's waiting for something. She's waiting for you to do something.
Uh, I have an out of character question. In situations like this, does the person who arrives speak first, or does the person who is in the house?
The host is obligated to make small talk first.
Okay. Lady Euphemia, has been your night? I hope the journey to here was pleasant. I make a gesture towards, the seat as I take my seat as well.
She sits down on the proffered stool or couch, whatever you've offered to her. She looks completely at ease, and she says, "Oh well, this evening is weather-wise has been quite unpleasant, but it serves as a good reminder to take pleasure where you can find it."
Indeed. I hope some of the gangs making the existence unpleasant for everyone else hasn't create trouble for you.
I refer to the weather brought forth by the gods. The unpleasant chill, that thin mist that just seems to seep to every crack and crevice and find every hole in your clothing. Such a unpleasant surroundings.
Finally.
Hey, such unpleasant surroundings serve to make you aware of when the weather is warm and pleasant and the moon shines brightly. It is good to be out of such things and into a place with comfortable flame and warm liquids and bodies to offer comfort.
Of course. Talking about bodies comfort. Wait, out of character, I should ask this because I don't want to make mistakes here.
I think you
Will
should
that
make
be
an etiquette roll at the moment. Wits and etiquette.
Yeah. I was going to ask, should I offer some food to her?
Yes, you should.
Because I was going to do that. Wits and etiquette.
Yep. That is you don't have to roll it because you actually asked the question I was gonna give you.
Yeah. So do you want me to make the roll?
No, since you actually asked the question. Yes,
Yeah.
you should be making an offer.
Yeah, I was going to do that. So so what did I say? What was the thing I said before asking the question to you? About the warm bodies to comfort us. Would you like some drink?
How very pleasant of you to offer. I will gladly accept your hospitality. Truly, I expect no less of a man of such resources as yourself.
Because I'm going to bring some things for a servant to come in, and then make a hand gesture, which means like bring one of the servants. I'm gonna offer that servant to her as once they arrive. Please enjoy.
She doesn't even leave the area because you never did not indicate that she should. She takes that to mean that you're comfortable with her feeding in front of you.
Yep.
And
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is comfortable. He doesn't see a lot of trouble.
she sits the servant down and She looks in his eyes, she caresses his face, and she murmurs some stuff to him. He relaxes. His motions become lighter and smaller. And she sits him on the floor in front of her, and she tilts his head. And you can tell she's not drinking deeply. She's just barely nipping for a little tiny trickle. She's just like, she's nursing it, milking it, taking her time, enjoying every tiny little drop that comes out. And would like you to roll your perception plus empathy.
Perception plus empathy. Okay.
Yes. The 2 successes. The pleasure in her eyes is unmistakable. Her beast exults in this treatment. Every ounce of her enjoys what's going on here. There's no argument internally about should she be doing this or not. There's nothing of the humanity that you might expect out of anyone, in such a situation. She clearly has fully embraced the path of desire, and at the moment she desires to milk this situation.
So here's a question before she kills my
She's not going to
servant.
kill him. She's barely taking any.
Okay. So once she finishes feeding, I will just ask, I hope you like the flavor.
Yeah, she barely takes 1 full blood point, barely.
Okay.
But she milks it, and it just takes. For you, it'd be, oh, okay, I have to go feed, and all right, now it's time for me to force my beast down so I don't overfeed on my herd. So for you, it's something to do. It's something I have to go and do. It's like I have to go eat my dinner, right?
Yeah.
So for her, she has enjoyed this the way you would enjoy a 10-course meal with everything involved, and she stretched it out, and it's as if she enjoyed seeing the sensations on everyone's around her as much as she enjoyed tasting the blood of this person.
Decius watches this carefully. Finds it interesting how much pleasure she is taking from it. In the back of his head, he's thinking if she takes enjoyment from every kind, or if there's anything special with his herd that might be making this extra pleasurable. Just thinks about that for a moment. And once she finishes feeding and releases the servant, and after servant leaves the room, Decius looks at her and asks, so did you like the flavor?
She dabbles at her lips, and the taste of such never fails to excite and rouse me. I find very little this of more enjoyment.
That's beautiful to hear. There's nothing like a nice drink before getting into more serious businesses.
I guess I should. That does bring me to my visit. So first off, it's good to see that the current unpleasantness has not dulled your sense of propriety and your manners. So I appreciate the effort that you've gone through to make me feel welcome.
In times of distress and violence, The only way we can separate ourselves from those people is having our heads tall and making people around us feel even taller.
I come here tonight to speak to you of the unpleasantness in the city. I have questions. Things that I wish to know. I ask that you speak to me with honesty. Obviously, I cannot compel you to do such a thing. But I sit here tonight with no guards, nothing but myself and the traditions to protect me. And the covenant that we have all agreed to abide by. I ask, what are your thoughts on the first citizen?
First citizen.
Yes,
Under
Titus
his-
Ventris Camillus, our first citizen, our princeps.
Yes. Princeps Camillus, under his supreme reign, the kindreds of Rome, at least those that was here for a long time, new arrivals have their own issues. I'm not going to speak about them or in their name. But the rest of us, under the supreme reign of Princeps Camillus, has thrived, as you can see. And I extend my arms towards the room and towards my place, essentially, as I say this. His preferences, ideology might not be the same as rest of the clan, or for the rest of the majority of the clan. And while those matters might seem mentioned between different circles behind the curtains, they are small matters, small differences. Princeps Camillus is powerful. He has allies. He has the respect. He is someone my coterie fears, rightfully so, considering the past grievances they had. I respect him. I acknowledge him as my princeps, and therefore the whole Rome is his domain, and if he abides, I will be forfeit from my own domain. I'm not sure if there is more I can say. Of course, some things I dislike, but I know my place, and therefore I do not speak of my displeasures, as they have no place to be heard by my elders.
So, I take it that you hold no grudge or grievance against him for abandoning the path of the Scions.
I had an interesting conversation with another elder of our clan a few years ago, I think. Maybe longer than that. He talked about a valuable lesson in that moment to me. The lesson is simple. The road we chose, in the grand scheme of things, does not matter. It's the result That's what's important. Not the ideology itself. The ideology itself is a tool that we can use to look at things from different perspectives. And if the perspective between two kindred is not the same, there might be disagreements. That's the usual way things develop. However, if the end result makes everyone happy, or at least makes those that are important happy, then there is no reason to hold grievances, grudge, or anything as such. And I took that lesson to my heart. So no, I do not hold any grudges against the prince.
And I take it you wish to see his continued success. Is that fair?
His continued success brings success to rest of us. So yes, I wish to see his continued success.
What is your current willpower?
Let me check.
Is it 6 or 7? Is all I need to know.
Day or something passed, so it will be 7.
All right. Okay. She nods. So, to continue, what is your... No. What are you looking out of to get out of Rome? Why do you even stay here?
Sorry, what did she ask?
She says, why do you live in Rome? Why stay here? What is it you want?
So before I answer her question, the questions she is asking, I still did not ask anything in response to it. Is this more like an interrogation, or is this more like
It's a conversation.
offering of? Okay, so she is making this sound like conversation.
Yeah,
Okay.
she has no official power to do anything to anyone.
Okay. I will say, Odysseus will say, Rome is the largest city that we are aware of. Rome is one of the cities, if not the city, with the richest history and even achievement so glorious that it would make other city-states feel shameful. To be part of this and to have a hand in the legacy of this city, that desire is, I'm sure you will know a lot about desires, that desire is great. And I see no reason to not try to have that desire fulfilled. That's why I stay in Rome. And what about you? Why do you stay in Rome?
I stay here because my loves are here.
So if your loves went away to other cities, would you go with them?
Camillus? And all of my fellow practitioners, yes, if they all left, I would do anything for them. Absolutely anything.
That's very noble of you.
Would you not stoop to any lengths to be one who could shape the destiny of which you've spoken for Rome? How far is too far?
When a house is rotten, when the water seeps through the walls, when the rust is clearly visible, when the blacksmith refuses to repair something, there is no reason to stay in those moments anymore. There's no reason to try to change anything. The course of it is assured. At that point, I personally will take another path, a fresher path.
So if you felt that Rome was about to fall, you would simply abandon it?
If I sensed that the Rome was about to fall and there was no way to defend it or fix that or return from that destiny, then I would leave it, yes. Because why? Why would we stay in a place destined to be destroyed?
And do you feel we're at that point now?
No, I don't feel. I feel that the point we are at is just like any other moments in history, a moment of distress and people trying to make change. But those things happened before and they were handled. There is no age that a great civilization spans without challenges. There's no age that an empire thrives without problems. I am confident in the skills of the Princeps Camillus and people he takes advices from or listens the wisdom of. I have no doubt of them and their skills. I'm sure that they will find a way to get rid of these unpleasant gangs on the streets, get rid of these fledglings and neonates looking to do something stupid. Now, I still think that whatever is going on, it can be easily crushed, stopped, returned from.
Well, that's good to know. And you are aware of the First Citizen's reward for turning in those who would betray him in the city, correct?
Chris, was it the domain?
Basically, you get to take their shit, if it's true.
Okay. Yes, I know it. I'm not sure if you've been aware of my dealings, but I am trying to help our sheriff so that the city is cleared from these unpleasant kindreds and even the kind that's being trouble to us. If I catch anyone with clear proof, anyone who is willing to stand against Princeps Camillus, you do not need to worry. I will make sure that they will be revealed to the sheriff.
She stands up. She says, I always worry. It's what I do.
Well, do you find pleasure in worrying?
Someone has to. This has been a most instructive visit. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me tonight.
Of course, of course. I hope the instance you heard satisfied you.
I have
And then
the
I guess
information I
this.
sought.
Go on, go on.
That's all she says. I have the information I sought.
Okay. And this is the appropriate thing will be to lead her out.
Yep.
Go with her essentially to the main door, right?
Yes, that would be appropriate.
Yeah. So Odysseus will take her to the main door, and then
She politely makes her goodbyes, as any guest should, and leaves.
okay. Once she leaves, I'm gonna return to my living room, I guess. Not quite the right word, but you get my point. And just sit down. And I would like to, if possible, I would like to reflect on this interaction. Just think about it. Focus on my memory. Focus on her face as I answered her questions. Recall the tiniest movement of the mimics. Can I get a sense of how she might have left my villa?
Okay. Let's think about what you're trying to do here. This is going to be an intelligence roll of some kind.
Yeah.
We're going to do intelligence and enigmas.
Enigmas. Ooh,
Yes,
okay.
enigmas.
It's not a good area I am at.
Yeah, intelligence plus enigmas at difficulty 6.
Could it be empathy?
Nope, enigmas, because she said some things and she behaved a few certain ways, and politics could apply, but I think the political implications are pretty clear and you don't need to make a roll for that.
Yeah, political. Yeah. I guess because I'm not really about the political ideas, but more that if she was believing that I would be loyal to principles, or if she had that kind of vibes that, I might be in trouble, essentially. Decius might be in trouble.
Yeah, so
Intelligence enigmas.
intelligence and enigmas.
I'm gonna spend the willpower because it's not going to be a good roll. Okay, so there's 2 success.
All right, you have thought very long and very deeply on the implications, what she's talking about, what happened, the words that she said. And I'll let you ask 2 questions.
Okay. 2 questions. Did she seem troubled by my answers?
Probably because she suspects, I would think rightly, that you are concealing some of your intentions.
Okay. That's fair. Now about the second question. How do I put this in words? Did I seem like a priority for her?
No, you did not.
Okay.
It was, the visit seemed to be as much formality as anything else.
Okay. So even if Well, this is Decius essentially theorizing. Even if he is in trouble, there might be a line in front of him.
He doesn't seem to be in trouble. That was pretty obvious.
Okay.
It was more that she was coming to make sure you weren't going to be trouble.
Right. Okay. So I guess this is going to be Decius's night.
All right. Back to Androdimus now that computer issues are resolved.
Mm-hmm.
Androdimus, when we left off, you had successfully lured a man back to the stables. You were engaged in conversation. You got him distracted. You were stalking up behind him. Your teeth were extended. Your beast was raging within you to take him now, to take what is yours. And what did you do?
So my brain's failing on exact words to use, but basically, Androtimus is going to basically play it off like he's just taking a quick peck on the cheek or something of the guy, and sink his fangs in there, like he's just like, damn, you're really something, ain't you?
He's somewhat distracted, and he's like, Phil, as you put your arms on him and stuff, and he's like, oh, whoa. And then you just bite it, and he's like, oh. And the kiss of the vampire overwhelms him. And it's been so long since your beast was satisfied, and you just feel the most delicious, fulfilling sensation forcing its way across your consciousness. And your beast roars at you that it wants to take and take and take. And to hell with that crap thin stuff. This is the good stuff. This is what needs to be. This is how you were meant to feed on humans. Not on crap rats and horses and deer. This is what you were meant to do. And you have to fight your beast. Do you fight your beast?
Yes.
I need you to roll your self-control at difficulty 8. It has been too long since you fed from humans. You have been feeding from beasts until you could feed no more from them.
I'm spending willpower. So that's 2 successes.
All right, you take until the man's breathing begins to slow, and the beast isn't going to stop. And you force yourself. You let go, and the man falls heavily, and you fall to your knees. And you're like, you force yourself. Maybe you punch your chest a couple of times with your hand. You have to, grab your head, and you're like, no, no. This man will live, and I will not be a monster. I am better than this. And your beast rages at you. No, no, you are not. This is the hunter that you are meant to be. Hunters take what they need, and you fight against it until your consciousness begins to force it down. And your teeth recede within, and you become more normal looking again. And you can stand up, having conquered the beast tonight.
Whew. I make sure the guy's like, as he's on the floor, make sure he's in a comfortable position so he doesn't doesn't feel like total shit when he wakes up.
You position him next to the horse. He'll be actually nice and warm. He'll actually probably be a lot more comfortable than a lot of people in Rome tonight. Sleeping next to a warm horse.
What time is it in the night then?
You have loads of time.
Alright, well, I am not sure, what he would be doing right now, out of character, but I'm going to presume that he has some things he needs to do, errands he needs to run, or the like.
Yep. And he
Out of
takes off.
Yep.
Yep. You got places to be. All right. Let's take a short break. Let's take 10 minutes, and looks like tonight's session might be a little shorter than normal because we're down 2 people. But yeah, let's take 10, and we'll come back refreshed and ready to get back going.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go back to Albina. Albina,
Yes.
as you are contemplating what to do with the cult, there is a visitor who is announced to see you. You've never met him before, neither has the cult, but they say there is a visitor here to see you, and he bears a strange badge, one they've never seen before.
Yes. She's going to proceed to ask him to be brought in.
Right. Down to the basement or into the common sitting area.
It's the sitting area for now.
Right. So you guys show him into the second room, and where many of the visitors come. And he's dressed in rich livery, very non-Roman clothing. It's embroidered in red with trims of orange, and he has gold on his arms, and he has a silver badge which he shows you, and is the emblem of Bukafos.
She remembers that what she was told about Bukafus coming to the city.
Right.
And seeing the icon, she immediately snaps to attention, her focus turning completely to the matter at hand. I assume you have a message?
He looks at you, and he, of course, is standing respectfully. And his eyes become dark, black, like this isn't him speaking. This is the literal words of his master. My granddaughter, you have come far with power. Your performance in our ceremony of the Leviathan has shown your strength and wisdom in the magic of the abyss. However, you lack the conviction and knowledge required to sustain your progress. For that reason, I expect that you shall speak with someone on the Via Biste, the Road of the Beast. You will have them teach you of its ways, and meditate on why we have deviated from their road. The similarities and the differences will serve you well in understanding why we worship as we worship. When next I return, I expect a enlightening summary of your progress.
She's going to proceed to... She feels very surprised at hearing this. I did not believe she was aware that the Road of the Beast and the Abyss used to be related to each other. She's going to speak up. Grandsire, do you have a recommendation to make about who I should seek out such teachings?
The dark of his eyes clear, and you realize his eyes are hazel now, not black. And he nods his head to you respectfully, and he says, I apologize, but that is all the message I have to deliver.
She sighs. Imagine that she's not surprised that she receives commands and orders without receiving instructions on how to actually accomplish them, but she's still. But it makes the entire experience no less frustrating for her, and she nods. Your message has been delivered.
Then I shall depart and bother you no more tonight.
May the shadows guide you.
He leaves.
What do I know about the history of the Road of the Abyss with the Road of the Beast?
Almost nothing. It is the Road of the Beast and the Road of Humanity. This you do know are considered to be the two core roads of all vampires. The Road of the Beast is something that many have come to with no instruction whatsoever. Everything else stems from the study of that.
I imagine that the roads more humane ones are the offshots on the Road of Humanity, and the more inhumane ones are from the Road of the Beast. Yes, which make the Abyss one of those. What practitioners of the Road of the Beast do I know of in Rome?
There are a few Losombra who are also on the Road of the Abyss. You know Montano is not. Exactly what he practices is a mystery, but he is not on the Road of the Abyss.
No, I mean the Road of the Beast.
The Beast.
Yes, he told me to meditate on the similarities between the Road of the Beast and the Abyss. Yes.
Yes, and he specifically wants you to, if you can, find an instructor.
Yes, which is why I asked what practitioners of the Road of the Beast do I know?
Of the Beast. None, actually. Albina doesn't spend enough time at court to know this stuff. You're going to have to seek out a little bit of help.
Plus, most ferals don't really go out making friends actively.
But she does knows the girl that she does knows would be Laetia.
Yep.
Lartia.
Yep, you do know Larthia.
Oh yes, please go learn wisdom from
the following road of
Ihouse's-
Typhon. Yes.
Yeah. I support this from beyond Torpor.
Yeah, she's going to proceed to try to get in contact with. Has been so long since we actually had a scene with him that I completely forgot his name.
Ihamus.
Ihams and Lashes.
Right. It's actually going to take you several nights to. You can pay someone to send a message to them, of course. But it does take a little bit of time to get a good response and set up a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you do eventually get a, hey, come to you. You can come to the Haven to my place of business on such a night, a few nights hence. So, get a little over a week, and they have set up a time for you to come talk to them.
She's going to be attending the meeting at the time specified by them.
Right. I need you to make me a roll of a D100, and you want to roll over a 35.
It wasn't over 35.
Ooh. All right. Were you taking anyone with you to this?
I think she's going to make it know where she's going to Androtimus and to Deaths, but she's not going to be outright inviting them. Let them come if they wish, but not but not ask them to come with her.
Right. Androdimus, did you want to accompany her?
Look, need to go for a moment. So.
Okay. Decius, did you want to accompany her?
Can you just tell like a summary of what kind of letter you sent? Like what kind of words you chose in your letter?
She's going to be telling you that she's going to be meeting with an old friend of the coterie to discuss a few methods of spiritual enlightenment. She's offering if you wish to go along.
No, Decius is not going to join to this. Spiritual enlightenment doesn't interest him, and there's also unpleasant gangs on the streets, so he prefers to stay in the safety of his domain.
It still be also the situation would be uh, considered wise to also hire perhaps some hired hands to go along with her, some local thugs.
Make a charisma plus commerce roll. At difficulty 4, that's going to include your merits. Okay, yeah, you get a couple of rough-looking guys who are like, "Yeah, I'll walk through the city with you." You give them enough money to buy a nice hot meal and some hot watered down wine that is pretty good just to walk you across the city. So that's a pretty good amount of money for them. Right? So you are going through the dark highways, byways, the alleys of Rome, and you can't help but notice about people sleeping and dying literally at the foot of great statues, bronze and marble, depicting the heroes of Rome, and then at their feet are the regular people dead and dying of cold and hunger, disease. Tonight, though, the weather has broken. The sky is clear but cold. The weather hovers at close to freezing, just a little bit above freezing. But the stars are out, and it is a quarter moon. So the lights come from fires on the street. People huddled around them trying to keep warm. And the dim moon and the stars shining brightly in the sky. So you are going along the main streets, major streets, and you begin as you close in on near the Aventine Hill and close to where Ihamus's domain is located. Several men step out. Four of them step out in front of you. They have clubs, rough homemade-looking clubs in their hand, and they're doing the whole thing where they're tapping their palm, and they're like, "Oh, you're out a little bit late." And they're eyeing your dress, your clothes. They look at the two guys behind you, and they don't seem intimidated at all.
She sighs in frustration. She looks over at the mortals ambushing her. Memories of the past times that happened briefly coming across her face, across her mind. She shakes her head. I don't have the time for this. She's going to look one of them. She's going to proceed to dominate and say, "You, if you seek coin, then go rob your friends."
All right, make your dominate roll at difficulty 3. The first guy immediately turns and bashes his buddy upon the head. Just turns, face first, with the club. Whack! Blood flies. Bone cracks underneath. He goes down like a dropped ox. Just down he goes. And his friend reaches down, pulls a little ring or something off his hand, begins to rummage in his clothes, and then he runs off. And he leaves the other two standing there like, what the fuck just happened? And then you hear the two men behind you. You hear something hit them. Boom, boom, and they go down. And so there's two guys now in front of you and two behind you. Looks like there were 6 men total. And you have already taken care of 2 of them.
She sighs once again as she hears the mortals that she hid crumbling behind her. She looks over to the...
I need you to roll initiative. Yeah, they have a base initiative of 4. They rolled real well.
They rolled literally the best they can do.
All right. They look at you and you look at them, and just as you're getting ready to say something, the 4 of them rush at you. You are under multiple opponent penalties now. And all 4 of them begin to strike and beat at you with their clubs. I'm going to make 4 melee rolls. The first guy, they're not taking multiple actions. And they're going to get some bonus dice for flanking and being at the rear. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, this, fortunately for you, is all bashing. Soak 6 bashing, please. Wow. The clubs begin to crash up and down. Wham! Whack! Whack! And they're hitting your legs and your chest. They're about your shoulders. You just raise your arms to protect your face. They're hitting your back. And it's just thudding off of you. And you're just shrugging it off. What the hell is this? Huh. You have Fortitude 4 now? That's cool.
No, I have Fortitude 3 and I have the heavy
Armor.
clothing.
Okay, cool. Good deal. Yeah, you just shrug it off. It's just like you don't even barely feel. It's just like, these guys, they don't know what they're dealing with, and they're about to find out. So your action, what would you like to do?
As they are beating her up, she's going to proceed to try to hit one of them with her bare hands. Proceed to try to use brawn attack at one that is in front of her.
All right, so it's going to be Dex and Brawl. You are at a +3 difficulty due to multiple opponents. So since you're just not calling a shot, it's going to be Dex Brawl Diff 9. And you cannot spend a willpower for this because you can't willpower force yourself to hit him. There you go. You shrug off the beating coming your way and just ball up your fist and turn around. You just cock him right in the stomach. Just pow! How hard do you hit him?
I'm going to be using a blood test to make the 3 potence automatic success.
So you're going to hit him really hard. All right, roll strength +1 bashing damage. With 3 auto successes for potence.
So 5.
So 4, 5 bashing. You nail him right in the gut, and he just drops to his knees and he throws up. a stinking puddle of bile at your feet. And he's like trying to catch his breath. And he rolls over on the ground. He may not be out of the fight, but he's out of it for this second. It's going to take him a round or two to recover. Yeah, you just knocked the shit out of him. The other two are like, what the hell? Two of them try to beat you harder. The third one turns his makeshift club around and tries to stab you with it. So he is now stabbing you with his makeshift club. So this is the remaining guy from the front. He does hit you several times. And first guy from the back. Hit you. Second guy from the back, and he is stabbing you with his club. Oh no. He got a 9. So he might have hit you in the heart. In fact, he did hit you in the heart. So first we're going to do here's how much bashing you got to soak. Which is 1, 2. Which is considerably less than it was. Alright. Soak. 3 lethal. And 2 bashing.
I'm going to use the blood point for the auto soak in 3 points.
Alright. So then just roll your stamina plus armor. Alright, so you do take 1 bashing. Yeah, so this guy turns his club around, just jabs it into you. Wham! And he's like, tries to force it into you, and it's just sticking there in your clothes. It barely penetrated your skin at all. You're up. How do you deal with these impudent fools?
She's going to proceed to stomp down on the guy that had that she knocked down on the ground, the guy that puked up.
Okay. No roll required. You are going to curb stomp him into the ground, and you're going to crack his head open like an egg. All right. Mm-hmm. That's your action. You just pick your foot up, stomp. His face goes into the hard, frozen ground. And you hear this little squish, and then brain squirts out around your foot and just splatters on the wall. And that's going to be a courage roll for those guys. Collective courage at diff 8. You hear them scream out, "You killed our friend!" Now all 3 of them turn their clubs around, and they all start trying to stab you over and over. The guy from the front is doing a cold shot to the head. And he will hit. Guys to the back are just stabbing the hell out of you. He will hit you, but not in the heart. I forgot to roll the extra heart strike dice. Oh well, too late now. Okay, so you're going to have to soak 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 lethal that is not to the heart.
Once again, I'm going to use the auto fortitude.
You're going to have to pick which damage roll you want that to apply to. The heart shot or the non-heart shot.
The heart shot.
Okay. So that's 6, that's not to the heart, and it is 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is to your heart. 2. So the heart shot, your fortitude just soaks, just takes it. You are not staked. The others, though, you have now suffered 1 bashing and 5 lethal, which I believe is enough to put you into incapacitated.
No, it's crippled.
Crippled. Alright, you are badly hurt by this latest attack. Very badly hurt. You, of course, on your turn, may spend blood to heal.
Yes.
You are the memory of the pain is still going to affect this roll, but I'm pretty sure you can spend enough blood to heal all of it in 1 round, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that would be another courage roll for them, really.
They're more just concerned with I got to put this monster in front of me down.
Would it actually be a courage roll for Albina for the crippled?
Actually, that is because there is a roll about receiving more damage than your stamina. There's a rule about that, being stunned, basically. So yes, I would like you to roll your courage or self-control, whichever is lower.
Isn't Albina's stamina effectively stamina plus fortitude, though?
She spent 3 for auto soak.
Okay.
Plus, she still took more. She took 5 damage, which is still more than her stamina. Yes, I would like you to roll your courage or self-control, whichever is lower. Actually, we're going to roll both. First, roll your courage to see if you run away in fear, and then we're going to roll your self-control to see if you attack them in frenzy.
Difficulty 6 for the both of them.
Yeah, let's do that. I was going to say, yeah, courage is probably less than 6, but you got it. All right, yeah, you do not frenzy. You feel the beast rise up within you, and you're like, no, not now.
And she's going to heal the damage that she took. And she's then going to proceed to try to take a punch at the guy that attacked at her heart.
All right. So yeah, you just do a quick turnaround and strike at the guy behind you.
That's out brown difficulty 9.
8.
Nice.
Okay. Anytime a single attack causes more damage after soak than a mortal stamina or a vampire or other supernatural being stamina plus 2, the victim is dazed. You spend your next turn shaking off the attack. So, take that back. You can't actually do that. However, you did spend blood to heal, and the staggering amount of damage you took. You don't quite fall, but you have to put your hand out and brace yourself for a second. Which is all that they might need. Now, is Androdimus back?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
Albina offered the chance for you to accompany her. Did you want to take that chance or not? Did you want to go see Ihamus or not? As Androdimus.
I don't think he would have accepted if it was phrased as want to visit Ihamus. If she was asking for additional protection, then he may have come along as like, I've not got much else to do, so why not? But if it's specifically in terms of meeting the guy, I don't feel like Androdimus is the kind of person who would want to deal with Ihamus at all if he could ever help it.
How did you phrase it, Albina? You're just going to meet an old friend of the coterie?
Yeah, meet an old friend of the coterie to discuss spiritual matters.
Fuck it, he'll tag along.
Okay. All right. Androdimus, you see this. I need you to roll your initiative, please.
Where the hell did my... Okay, hold on.
Right? So you were sensibly going along behind her, keeping an eye out. And what you saw was 6 men ambush her. And she dominated one man into robbing one of his buddies. So that immediately cut it down to 4. And there were 2 that she didn't see, and they stepped out and killed the 2 men that she paid to accompany her. So it was her against 4, and now it's her against 3. And she just absorbed a seriously damaging attack.
That's
Wow,
6.
you rolled like shit.
Yeah,
Sucks.
I'm just like trying to figure out what's going on. Like, wait, why is that guy? Oh, he is really messed up. Shit.
All right. So the 3 of them continue to beat and stab at her. They are in a unthinking, for a mortal, mind you, an unthinking frenzy of just, I have to attack this thing until it's down. And then they're going to keep attacking it until it no longer moves. And it's basically just a red smear.
But she's pretty.
Well, they just witnessed her say something to make their buddy attack a friend and then stomp a man's head open like an egg. So, yeah. All right. Hey.
Ooh, that's
Good one on that one. All right. So, what Andromeda, what you see is Albina gets staggered. She's like, oh. And then the guy that's in front of her he had a club and it's got like a jagged edge from where they broke it off. And they're using that to stab at her. And he stabs her in the torso. And then one of the 2 guys behind her slips on the mostly frozen ground, and he slides to one knee. He slips on the blood and the brain matter that's on the ground. So he goes to one knee, and he's gonna have to spend the rest of this turn recovering. So he gets no more attack, and he's partially prone. However, the last guy behind her nails her right where her heart probably is. He has now hit the same spot 3 times in a row. Bam, bam, bam. Albina, your armor no longer protects you back there. It is torn to shreds. Alright, so it's going to be 2, 4, 5. So Albina, you're going to soak 4 lethal to the front of your body, and then your heart shot is going to be... none. He hits you, and the stake like pops out the back of his hands, so it like he doesn't get any force behind the strike. It just hits you in the same spot, but his hands are so cold from the night air he can't grip it effectively, and it almost pops out of his hand, and it negates any damage he would have done to you. Right, you have taken this round of attacks, and with renewed anger, the beast now demands satisfaction. It is raging at you to let it loose, to destroy these creatures that would dare harm you. I'd like you to roll your self-control again at difficulty 8.
Is this middle of the street?
They're in like a little back alley where they had to cut through as like a shortcut. All right, you barely ran it. Your teeth come out, your eyes, and you're just like, oh no, I can't. But you still feel a rage boiling inside you. How do you react?
She turns to look at the one that tried to stab her on the heart once again, just growling at him. I swear, your kind gets more unpleasant with each generation. She's going to proceed to try to punch him.
Okay. Dex Brawl, diff 8. Alright, you do indeed knock a solid blow into his torso.
I'm going to use the auto 3 potence.
Okay. Roll strength. Strength only damage. Because it's only one success.
So 4 successes, 4 damage.
We'll see how bad it hurts him. You do get 2. He's like, oh! And the wind gets driven out of him. And he's forced to back up a step. With the force of the blow, it literally takes him off his feet for a quarter second. And you hear that as all the air gets driven out of him. And he takes a second to get his breath back. Androdimus, you're up.
Seeing just the absolute mess that's going on before him, Androdimus runs forward, starts interposing himself between the men and Albina, and shouts to the men, "Run, you idiots!"
All right, you're attempting to get them to run.
And I'm going to try and sell it like I'm giving them an opening to escape, like I'm jumping in to hold her off while they...
Charisma and leadership, difficulty 8. They want blood and revenge for their friend.
May I spend a willpower on this?
No, you cannot willpower force your way through this.
Oh boy. Shit.
Okay, you do not convince them. However, you do successfully interpose yourself between one of the 3 men and Albina.
You are the dude who tries to stop the fight by entering the middle of it and gets punched in the face for doing that?
Mm-hmm. All right, new round. Albina, good news is you now only have 1 multiple opponent.
There's no bad news.
Yeah, bad news is they're still fighting you. So, guy who was in your back, now he is at your front. Goes stabby stab, and he hits you right in the chest. Again, right in the heart. The guy that was behind you also hits you in the heart, which really sucks.
Jesus.
That heart really got some trauma today.
One,
What
two,
the fuck
3, 4, 5. Well, fortunately, you only got to soak 4 lethal. Just no armor, stamina plus fortitude.
I'm going to auto 3 fortitude.
Okay?
Fortitude for the win.
Fuck yeah.
Oh. Oof. Oh shit.
Oh no. Well,
Are you
you
staked?
can't botch a...
He doesn't have a
Fortunately, you can't
success.
botch a soak roll, but it's also no successes. So, bam! The 2 of them hit, and Albina gets stiff and just drops. Androdimus, the 3rd guy, basically just tries to shove you out, get out of the way! And he goes down on top of her and just starts going to town, stabbing her with the wooden implement in his hand. It totally ignores you. Just get the fuck out of the way! And tries to force you aside and go down and starts following her down to stab. So you're free to act however you want.
Okay. Okay. Here goes nothing. Spend willpower to create just some sort of sound to startle them and throw their attention just for a moment as I dash forth, grab Albina, and run.
All right. You are going to have to make a strength, a multiple action, strength plus athletics to pick her up, and then a dex and athletics to get the fuck out of there. So strength plus athletics, -1 dice, diff 7. You can spend blood to buff your stats, of course.
So what was that about dice? But aside from able to buff,
So it's going to be a multiple action, strength plus athletics,
Mhm.
diff 7, -1 dice. And then a dex plus athletics at diff 8, -2 dice. And I'm not applying the multiple opponent penalty here because they're not actually trying to stop you at this very second.
Okay, that's 3 successes on the.
Alright. So you do the special forces thing where they grab the leg and they do like a shoulder roll and pick her up in a fireman's carry. If you've ever seen them do that on YouTube, it's pretty fucking slick. And you do that. You just like grab, roll over, boom, boom, turn. You're up on your feet, and she is got wood sticking out of her, and she's on your shoulders.
Yep, and then Dex Athletics to run.
Yep.
Is that -2 dice?
Yes, at -2 at diff 8.
And that is 1 success. It's a nat. What should we call it? A nat 0 on the modifier because I have celerity.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you. I didn't. You could have said you were using celerity too, and that would have been the same thing.
Wait, hold on. It should be -1 dice, not net neutral.
Well, are you using celerity or are you using the dex bonus? Because if you use celerity, you don't get the dex bonus. I mean, you succeeded, so.
Well, yeah, but I
6
mean,
of one, half dozen of the other.
let's just go with it for now. I just need to remember some stuff in future.
All right.
Never mind.
You take off with her, and you get a head start. And they're like, "Hey, hey!" And they start shouting at you. Make one more Dex Athletics roll at no penalty. Just run. If you get 3 successes at diff 6, you have outrun them. And in fact, you are headed to Ihamus. You're headed to safety because she told you where you're going. Oh, with 5? Oh my God. Dude, you look like you're pulling a Prince of Persia here or Assassin's Creed as you parkour over all the stuff in the street, and you're jumping over people, sliding over low walls, dodging around the statues and stuff, and you pretty quickly lose them in the crowd, and you come on a compound, really, of buildings that are at 2 levels are made of stone. There's probably 4 or 5 buildings here total, and they all bear a mark of a hippopotamus with a shackle on its foot. And as Albina described, that is the symbol of the person that you are going to meet. That's what marks his domain. And there is a big obvious main door, and there's a pair of torches burning outside. And you burst through the opening door, or burst through the door, and somebody sitting behind the door on a stool just looks up to you in total bland acknowledgement. Just says, "Oh, I see you're here for your appointment. Thank you for coming in. Master is awaiting you very eagerly." He doesn't even react to the fact that you're carrying Albina and that she's got wood sticking out of her.
The question is, do I unstake her now or go in first and then unstake her?
Go in first. She's going to frenzy the moment you take out that stake. She's not torpid.
She's actually incapacitated, so yeah. But she'll get to make a self-control roll.
Uh, Alright, so yeah, I'll go on through. And when I see Ihamas, I'll just say, I apologize. I can't. I need to have the polite greetings later. I need some help holding her down while I take out this steak.
He just waves his hand. Calm yourself. We'll handle it. Here, and he shows you. Let me show you. Let me show you around. And escorts you out the door. What you don't see is a piece of his leg peel away in this grotesque mockery of something mortal, of a child maybe. Looks somewhat like a monster in and of itself. And this thing scuttle crawls over to Albina. And it goes over to the stake and works the first stake out, pops out, and then it crawls over Albina in this almost like a giant leech. Grabs the second stake and works it out. Pops out. And of course, Albina, you didn't see this thing either. You don't see how it got there. You just know that it's there. You're rationally, you know you're in a place of safety. You know you were saved. Your beast doesn't care about that. It cares that it was just in mortal danger and was about to die. Roll self-control at diff 9. And you can spend a willpower on this.
I can.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to do so. Yes.
Oh, good thing you did. It works the second stake out, and then it scuttles into the shadows, and you lose sight of it. It must be hiding behind one of the cushions or something on the floor. You don't know. What you do know is that the beast roars up within you, and takes everything that you have to avoid bursting through the door and hunting and killing every single thing inside this building. You do shred a poor, unfortunate pillow to death. You take out the last little bit of rage that ekes out. You take it out on this poor, unfortunate object.
The sacrifice shall be remembered.
But you contain yourself, as befits a priestess. Several minutes later, time's tough to tell because he has no clocks, and the only thing in here is a single candle to cast a little bit of light. He comes back in with Androdamus and Larthia, and he says, Androdamus, you found Ihamus to be a pleasant man, educated, witty, tells funny stories.
Almost enough to make you forget what he's doing with his life.
I mean, he didn't even mention any of that. He just told some funny stories and talks a little bit about Albina. Showed you around a little bit, you know. Oh, hey, look, it's Egyptian stuff. All right. Like, as a Ravnos, you don't really know that much about the followers of Set, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He called himself of the clan of Faith. That's what he said. He is of the clan of Faith.
Gotcha. So, probably right now, the only real suspicion I have is the sort of base level, everyone is suspicious kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. The base level of distrust you have for everyone who's new.
Mm.
Yep. And Larthia, you found her to be quiet, pleasant, but just kind of, you know, she didn't really say too much. he introduced her. He didn't really give her clan or anything. Just introduced her as his as a faithful companion and good friend. He comes back in and he goes to sit on a cushion, takes a note of the shredded remnants, and he says, Larthia, would you be a dear and summon the servants? It would appear we need a little cleanup, and if I judge, um, if I judge my old friend here correctly, she will need some time to sate the beast within her. Bring a few volunteers with you. They sit there, Albanese. They bring up like three slaves. They appear to be very healthy, strong, strapping men. You can take three each from them without killing them.
She's going to do so. She does not wish to take away the property of Ihams, especially not about when she's about to ask him for his help.
Everyone sits and relaxes as you sate your hunger. And when you've taken the last drop that you dare take, and your beast is somewhat mollified, even though it still demands more because it's a greedy child. He gestures and he says, well, I'm glad we could provide support to you in your time of need, where my doors are always open for old friends. What brings you here tonight? We've been so long, I feared you'd forgotten me.
I think it would be possible to forget someone like you, Ihams. Not the no matter how many centuries I live, I believe that that the memories that we share together are always going to be there.
We do go back quite a ways. I've always highly enjoyed your company. I found you to be witty and challenging. So please, will you introduce me to your new friend here?
Of course. This is Androtimus. We met him on a task on Capua to Valeronius. Have you heard about that?
I heard a few rumors about it. I have very little business in Capua, so mostly what I've heard has come from sources here.
Androtimus is a messenger and a guardian of one of Valeronius' business in Capua when we met him. He has been very important in ensuring uh, our return back to Rome safely, and has been a close ally of ours. Yes, she looks over to him, waiting for his confirmation on her words.
Uh, um, I'm sure sort of like not long. He doesn't like give any sort of flowery speech to it. He gives a sort of indication with his body language that he's sort of just taking a back seat on this whole conversation. Is his plan? He you know he's just a tag along.
Without him, I do not believe we'll be able to come back with hacked tracksuit. I assume you heard about what happened to her.
Yes, I did. It's sad happenings all around. Of course, we have prayed that she recover speedily and remain safe.
Yes. I have been thinking of ways that we can speed up her recovery. But these are matters that I believe we best discuss in the future. It is not the current reason why I came here, why I sought out to arrange this meeting with you and your companion, Latia.
Well,
I,
please go on.
I have been hoping to. I have been withdrawing some aspects of our community, and I am not fully familiar with the spiritual path that are pursued in your city. But from what I remember of our dealings and from what Hatshepsut told of you, you are very you are very well connected to the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment among our community. Let's hope I could ask you a few questions about that.
I will answer if I can.
Followers of the Road of the Beast, are they popular among the Canaanites of Rome?
Yeah, he has leaned back and he's assumed a deep and thoughtful expression as he thinks about what's going on here. He says, ooh, that's actually quite a tough one. I cannot recall any followers of the Road of the Beast that are prominent. Um, None in a position of power.
They do not need to be in a position of power. I am not seeking to use them as tools, not to include them in one of my schemes, merely to learn about their path, to the only sort of power and stats that they need to have is a spiritual one.
He says, what do you think, Larthia? And Larthia is she's a striking woman. She's not a beautiful woman. Um, she's got black hair she keeps tied back. Um, Somewhat shaggy, long. Um, Full lips. Thin, defined cheekbones and a jaw that comes together almost like a triangle for a triangular shaped chin. Her eyes are greenish hazel, and they're probably the most striking thing when you notice her. She's got scars along her temples and forehead. And she says, um, in the city, the few gangrel do not actually follow the Road of the Beast. Blade is a member of the Road of Kings. I know of a few in the wilds. If you desire to venture out, we could negotiate a price of for me to guide you to them.
Yes, that would be acceptable.
Um, for a trivial boon, though, I can tell you of one in the city. However, it is not a gangrel.
I do not need to try to be a Vanko, merely to be someone knowledgeable about the spiritual matters of the Road of the Beast.
Well, if you agree, then it is a. I know one of the Nosferatu, Tethicles. I have to think how to pronounce his name. It's been some time. He has chosen as his domain the southern entry of the Via Appia. Telecles, that was his name, Telecles. However, he has after the Punic Wars and the sack of Carthage, he abandoned his humanity and has dedicated himself more towards the beast. So I know not what insights he may offer, but if you know someone who is assuredly of strength, then I can guide you to them. Otherwise, you will have to settle for him, as far as I know.
For now, I will settle for him. I will provide you with the boon the trivial boon that you required for this information.
Oh, I'm glad we could help each other out then.
Of course. It is always a pleasure to do business with with reliable people.
This Nazi says, now, if business is concluded, how about pleasure? Social visit. We have not had the opportunity to socialize for many a year, actually.
You're right, we really haven't. We should ratify that. What would be what would be the latest hobbies that would have attracted the attention of you and Latia?
Well, there is a game that has come out. Perhaps we could arrange a friendly contest. Um, he arranges to have this game brought in. You guys spend a couple hours just playing around, talking, discussing your character histories. Androdimus, you learn that Larthia had been was a childa of a Gangro named Actian, and that Actian had actually attempted to rise in revolt against Rome. It was very soundly quashed with almost minimal effort, and that she has latched on to Ihamus because she believes his road of his offerings of faith are far superior to the road of the beast.
I see.
It is through faith, and in particular, faith in the one who has given us his divine power, that we control ourselves and master our beast, and by extension, become as divine ourselves.
Fair enough.
And of course, they question you about yours. They, talk about your road, your code of honor, because I'm sure that comes out a little bit.
Yeah, I'll probably come up at some point.
All right, so they're going to make a extended conversation roll here, and you guys get to make the same thing. They're going to make a wits and empathy roll. We're going to make one roll an hour. Let's say 2 hours, so we're going to make 2 rolls. And we're going to say double your manipulation score. I think that's probably the most fair. Or manipulation plus subterfuge, whichever is greater. Alright, so this is to figure out your natures. If they know your nature, they can get some bonuses on manipulating you.
So, wait, are we all rolling, or?
Yeah, so let's have you two guys roll first. Each make 2 rolls. And I need to get to Ihamus's character sheet here.
Okay, I got 4 rolls total over the 2 hours.
Right,
Four.
yes, two on Ihamus and 2 on Larthia.
The double manipulation score and
All right.
what ability?
So it is what you're rolling. You're going to roll wits plus empathy, and your target number of successes is 8 against Ihamus, and I need to get the Larthias yet.
Surprised you haven't sprung for the full 5 yet.
Well, it's experience, man. Waiting on the experience to come in.
Fair.
He's got other stuff to buy. As I've told you guys before, he's the one character that I actually give him the same amount of experience you get. Everybody else, their sheet is their sheet. It is what it is. What's needed. And I never filled her sheet out, so we're going to say 6. You need 6 successes on her.
And I roll manipulation and subterfuge on this.
Oh,
You're going to
wits
roll. You're
empathy.
going to roll your wits plus empathy.
Yes, I rolled that and I got 1.
All right. Roll one more time.
Wait, what happened to manipulation doubled?
Nothing.
That,
That's the target. That's your
yeah.
target.
The
right.
second roll got 3.
Okay, so you did not. Neither one of you figured out Ihamas's. All right, he has concealed himself too well, as you would expect. Make the same roll times 2 for Larthia.
And 2 and 4.
All right.
Use specialty.
No
Doesn't
special.
matter.
1 and 3, so 4 total.
All right. You did not succeed, Androdimus. All right.
This is the first time we are using nature.
Yep. Albina, because you figure that out, if you need to manipulate Larthia on a topic, you will get +2 dice on any manipulation roll you make against her,
Forever?
unless her nature changes.
Okay, gotta note that down, Albina. It might become useful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Plus also the benefit of being better able to predict.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, and now they're going to make the same roll against you.
Shit.
Come on, roll 20. Catch up. Catch up. Androdimus, what's your manipulation times 2?
6.
It's either manipulation times 2 or manipulation plus subterfuge, right?
Manipulation times 2 is higher for me.
All right. So I will need to write this down that Ihamas has figured you out.
Ihamus is doing the DiCaprio looking at the television, thing.
I'll have to write this down on the computer later. All right.
Let's find it.
And that's going to do the same thing for Albina. Albina, what's your manipulation times 2?
8.
Considerably more difficult to roll.
Makes sense. That's why, people, you don't go to set heights.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Stay in your domain.
All right. So the conversation flows. It's nice. It's fun. It's natural. And after a couple of hours and the board game is done, been a couple of times, had a good conversation with each other.
During this, do you notice that they are trying to read us?
Well, I mean, they're always doing that, and you're doing the same thing to them. So
It's like a chess, right?
It doesn't even have to be anything sinister.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk to people, you try to figure out what they're like.
I mean, that's literally it. That's vampires do that. It's just what they do. You guys are used to it.
Yeah.
You'd be more concerned if they weren't doing it.
Yeah. It's just that we never actually did it before.
Yep. So, it's a nice, pleasant evening of conversation and talking and sharing stories. And at the end of it, Ihamas escorts you guys to the door and tells you, of course, you're always welcome back, and I hope we get a chance to talk again before too much time has passed.
And of course, our haven is always going to be open for you and your companion, for Lartia. This was a most pleasant night spent together. I must say it is a pleasant break from the near-death situations that we occasionally find ourselves in.
Um, he says something to Larthia, and she nods. She goes, why don't I, given the trouble you found yourselves in, why don't I help you return? I'll watch from the sky.
That is very kind of you. What may we do in return for this?
Oh, perhaps one day you'll get the same chance to watch over us in repayment. Who knows?
Perhaps.
Bid you good evening. And you are seen out the door. Roll me a D100, please. Either one of you.
Oh, shit.
Andronimus, you do it, because Albina didn't have good luck on the last one. So, you do it.
That's the way you jinx it, GM. That's the way you jinx it.
I know. I try. Please be a 1. Please be a 1.
It was a 15.
15. Alright.
Is it a fail?
No. Well, I mean, it's a fail, yes, but it's not a fail. Alright. As you guys are stealthily making your way back, you are spotted, and you see that you're spotted. And you hear
Same
this.
guys.
Yep, it is the same guys. You hear this. Hey! Hey, you dirty cow suckers! I swear I knew you're gonna pay for the death of our friend! And you see 7 of them.
7 of them.
Yep, the 3 original and 4 of their buddies begin running at you.
They fucking called their buddies and they were like looking for you guys.
Yep, for hours. They've been looking for you for hours.
Androsimov Androsimov just puts his head in one hand, like,
Wouldn't that be funny if Albina just turned into a shadow and left you behind like that? Just like see you under Thomas, good luck, and then turn into shadows and leaves.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Androsimov has shown that he's pretty good at running, apparently, today.
Hey, dude, you got celerity. Like, just 1 blood point and you can double your speed, so... If there's anyone leaving anyone behind, you will be the one leaving Albina behind.
As they come to Azuda, Albina be able to use her Armory of the Abyss and to clad herself in robes of shadows.
Yep.
And
You have 1 round to boost yourself.
yeah, I'm going to proceed to use Armory of the Abyss.
Okay. Does that require a roll or anything? I think it does require a roll.
But, it is manipulation and crafts.
I love that power. It's so cool to describe shadows turning into an armor around you.
I'm just gonna blood buff.
All right, and I believe the number of successes is the number of silk dice it adds, right?
No, it adds as much soak dice as you have in Obtain Aberration.
Okay. And then the same with damage?
Yes,
Okay.
we have Shadow Weapon.
Isn't that another action though? I think that's separate, right?
I don't think it is. I believe that there is a power that allows you. There's a cheaper version that is separate, but I do not think that the one that I have is.
Albina took the combined version. So,
Yes.
yeah, you can take... I can form shadow weapons, I can form shadow armor, or I can do both. And Albina spent the experience points to get fortitude and then to get both. So,
Yes.
she definitely earned it. All right, so you blood buff, boom. Roll an initiative for me, please.
And we got the gangrel too, right? Up in the skies. Although he said, I'm going to watch over you, not protect you, so he might be just watching. You should add your celerity to initiative. Look.
I think he did.
It's not a
No,
modifier.
I actually did not. That is something that I keep forgetting to do. You know what? I'm just going to set it now so that I don't have to worry about it again. So,
All right, so you're at a 16 then.
no, that was a mistake I made earlier. Why I was messing about earlier. I have 1 celerity, not 2.
All right, so you're at 15.
Yeah.
All right, and Albina?
15.
15. Everyone's at 15. How about that?
Well, fuck.
Everyone is at 15.
Yep.
We just do that thing where we all punch each other simultaneously.
I'm honestly surprised Albina didn't just summon the shadows on them.
So
and
everyone
suffocate
acts
them.
simultaneously. 7 men converge on you at the same time. They are armed with. All right, we're gonna say on a 1 it's belt knives. On a 2 it's sharpened stakes/clubs, and on a 3 it's swords, and on a 4 it's torches. And
Oh, shit. On a what it is, torch?
4. So each person, I'm gonna roll 3 times. Ah, shit. I don't know why I rolled a d10. So, stake, belt, it was belt knife, stake, sword. So 2 of them have swords. I better write this down, or I will forget.
2-guy sword.
Yep. Yep. Two guys have knives. Four guys have swords. And one guy has a stake. All right. So you find yourself in a another somewhat alleyway, just like as you see in front of you, and 3 of the guys with swords block your path, and the other 4 guys are coming up behind you. Everybody's acting at the same time, so you guys are at a multiple opponent penalty that puts you at difficulty 10 on your actions. And they are at a multiple opponent penalty, which gives them +1. And everybody's acting at the same time, and their action is they're all attempting to cut you to ribbons.
Only the guy with the stake who is
Well, the
actually
guy with the
trying to
stake's
stake.
attempting to stab one of you. On a 1, it's Androdimus, and on a 2, it's Albina, and everyone else is splitting themselves evenly because the numbers worked out that way. All right, Albina, you're getting the stake.
Or not. We'll see.
All right. As they're getting ready to do that, what are you guys doing? What is your actions? Because again, this is all going off at the same time.
Okay, quick important question. How close by are the roofs of the nearest buildings, and how sturdy do they look?
Approximately 3 to 4 stories up, and you can't tell. However,
Right.
it's mostly wooden buildings still here. There are a few that have some partial brick facades.
Right, so not anything that even with leverage I could feasibly climb up. Fuck it for now. For first instinct, draw a knife and get ready to fight. Stab one of them.
All right, you're just going for a guy with a sword or a guy with a knife? You pick.
Guy with a sword.
Okay. Albina?
Albina is going to proceed to try to stab with her shadow blade at the guy that tried to stab her.
So the guy with the stake?
Yes.
Okay. Again, all this is going off at the same time. You guys make your rolls. They're going to make their rolls. I'm going to roll the guy with the stake and the guy with the knife, or the guy with the sword first, that you two are attacking, because whoever gets more successes is going to win that roll. But so you guys are diff 10.
So it's a contested roll.
It is contested because it's going off right now, same time.
Ooh, that's a
That's a botch.
Ooh, nice job, Androtmos. Wait, it's a difficulty 10. Why
So-
did you roll at difficulty 6?
Shit, I forgot. That's my bad.
All right.
That's actually a botch as well.
Well, he's going to re-roll at diff 10 and make the difficulty accurate.
Somehow I got one success.
Okay.
Probably not going to be
There we
enough,
go.
but
It is not enough. Well, it is actually 1 and 1, so you both hit each other. All right. However, Albina turns to slash at the guy with the stake, and she unfortunately slips at the ground, and her arms go wide and expose her. He's going to get 1 additional damage on his damage roll. So, first, Androdimus and Anonymous Man, who's probably going to die, make your damage rolls. These are at standard difficulty. You both hit each other at the same time. He's rolling sword at a... I take that back, Androdimus. He had 2 successes, not 1. I see a 7 and a 10. So...
oh well.
Yep. No, he hits you. You do not hit him. All right. So he had 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Soak 3 lethal, please. And Albina is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait a minute. How's that? That shouldn't be right. Oh wait. God damn it! These. For some reason, why did I have 3 earlier? Jesus.
What have you done to your shit?
I don't know. Let me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4. I soak 4, not 6.
All right. So I think you soaked all of that. And Albina soak 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to the heart.
I'm going to use the blood point for fortitude.
And a very wise decision, I think.
Yep. And then just wait for that armor and stamina to...
Yep. Shadow armor for the win. Unfortunately, her heavy armor's been shredded. Her heavy clothing. But hey, shadow armor better.
Yeah. I think if these guys survive, they will learn from it and bring torches to the next fight, if they survive.
Well, I mean, they don't know what they're dealing with here. That's the problem.
Yeah, they have reason to believe that torches fired will be at this point more effective than beatings.
Yeah, so Albina, the stake jam just straight off. Whack! His hand shakes with the force that he hits you, and it just kind of like slides off of your shadow armor. It does take some of your clothing with it. It tears, and shreds of your clothing go with it, leaving your chest bared,
At this rate,
but covered
you're
in
going to-
shadow. That
At this rate, you're becoming
that
naked.
ripples and flows without any harm. Because, it's shadow armor. The other ones are coming at you. I'm going to do the same roll against each of you. And I'm just going to do a mass roll for them. So it was 4 attacking, 3 attacking, so 2, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, okay, that was bad.
So 1, 2.
That's 1 success.
Oh, wow, that's not bad at all. Androdimus soaked 2 lethal from the combined attacks.
Done.
Nice. Jesus Christ, what the
Oh, it's
fuck
a good
is
thing it's
that?
diff 7 and not diff 6, huh? Because that would have been a lot of damage at diff 6.
Yeah. This out of 6-year-old. You know, you could be a really dick and focus fire, like using all the people on one person at a time.
Not enough room. Albina, soak 5 lethal. Stamina and armor only. Because you already shot your shot with fortitude.
I think fortitude as a dice adds
She
up to
spent
it.
blood to make it auto soak.
Right. But
But yeah, that's how I'm rolling it.
okay.
That's the blessing and curse of fortitude, and I think she just rocked it anyways. So yeah. No, you rolled. Why did you roll 5? Oh, it's your obtenebration rating. Never mind. For a second, I thought it was only armor 2. Yeah, so they just descend on you guys, roaring, shouting, rah, rah, blades flashing, boom, it's doing nothing to you, absolutely nothing. Both of you roll self-control. You are in mortal danger. Sooner or later, these attacks are going to hit and they're going to hurt bad.
Difficulty?
For mortal dangers, self-control is going to be diff 9. As you have both seen it happen earlier tonight, your beast knows. Take care of this shit now.
Ah, fuck.
Frenzy. Hey, look at it from the good side. You don't get
Yep.
wound penalties in frenzy.
Yeah, but it means I can't use the escape I'd figured out this round.
Androdimus, the beast rages within you and demands that you eliminate this threat. Your teeth come out, your eyes become crazed. Your skin somehow becomes more defined. Keep your blade in hand, and your muscles tense up as your beast expends the blood needed to raise your strength and dexterity to spend the maximum amount of blood that's going to be needed. It spends the maximum amount of blood that it can. Split it in half.
Okay, I'll add 2 to strength and 1 to dexterity because it's an odd amount.
Okay. And that is when a 200-pound wolf literally drops from the air and slams on one of the guys from behind. Imagine, if you will, a giant wolf jumping from the roof. Have any of you guys seen the movie The Boondock Saints?
I have no idea.
No? Okay. Because there's a scene where one of the guys literally jumps from the roof of this high rise and lands on top of a mobster about to shoot his brother. And that's about what happens right here.
I'm just alternatively imagining just like a fucking Assassin's Creed thing, but with a wolf instead.
So, this wolf snarls, and just like lands on this guy full bore, and he just hits the ground, and you hear his spine break, and then his neck snaps as she grabs him, his neck, and just crunch.
Pleasant.
This is too much supernatural for a bunch of normal people, you know.
Yep,
Wolves falling
they're
from
rolling
sky.
courage.
Wolves falling from sky, shadows, you know, on people as armor.
They've got a group courage roll, diff 8. There you go. If it was one person, they'd be running by themselves. They're there to psych themselves up. It's now 6 on 3. Unfortunately, the two of you are still facing in 3 and 3, so your rolls are at diff 8.
Nice, okay.
All right, again, everything's going off at the same time. Roll, roll, roll. And they're all going to be at diff 6 because...
I botch.
Wait, that's diff 8. You rolled at diff 10.
Oh shit. God damn it.
You will still fail, but you do not botch.
Okay. Yeah, let's just go with that. I fail but do not botch. I swipe at the air.
All right. Albina, you and the guy hit each other as I'm waiting on D20 to roll 20 to catch up to me. You're trying to roll a set of dice. And I think I'm going to make this the second to last roll for, or at least round for this. All right. So Albina, go ahead and roll damage because the two of you hit each other. And he does again hit you in the heart again.
Fucking human turned into a one
And
thing.
he's expending putting everything he has into this, just every single thing he has because he saw it shatter. He's putting every bit of effort. So this is a feat of strength for him.
I don't think that human is succeeding. You also have specialty in soaking, right?
I do.
Albina soak 5 lethal to the heart. And that was his last final blow as he puts everything into it. Just and he just jabs it, slams it into your chest. As at the same time, your shadow blade just comes up and goes underneath his sternum and comes out his spine. Just and he sacrifices himself, jamming the stake into you.
And they're going to use the potence. No, in fact, not potence. The fortitude auto soak for the 3.
Okay. All right.
What was it?
You soaked it. You
Was
ended
it
up soaking
7?
a total of 6, and you had to soak a total of 5. All right. 4 or 5, whatever. Anyways, you soaked it all. Androdimus, they descend upon you, beating and stabbing. I gotta see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Damn.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Soak 7 lethal, Androdimus, as the beast.
Okay. Even if you soak 1, you are safe. Okay. Good job.
What? That wasn't that wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
Nope, that was me. 1, 2.
There's soak 3.
All right. So you had to soak. What was it? 7.
7. Yeah, 7.
Right, so you take 4.
Reduced by 3.
And Albina soak 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, soak 7 lethal. It's stamina plus armor.
Nice.
Man, what a roll! What a roll! The complete
That
opposite
armor-
of the earlier combat. Complete opposite.
Yeah. Armor helps. That shadow armor helps.
I mean, there's a reason she bought it, right?
Yeah.
Turns out it's fucking badass.
It's been like that since she bought it.
Yeah.
All the time.
So, Albina, you are like a rock. Beating on you is like beating on, as it should be, like trying to melee a shadow into submission. It just isn't working. They hack, they slam, they stab at you, and absolutely, you feel very little of it. Just like, turns out being a shadow god has its advantages. The 3 of you then turn to the remaining fighters, and you begin to savage them. Androdimus, you, as the beast, slash the throat of one guy, and then you leap on him, sink your teeth into him with celerity, and begin to just drink all the precious bloody fluid. The wolf is hamstringing the people that are in front of it before they can react. As they turn to react to this wolf, Albina, her shadow blade just dances amongst the attackers, and the last guy, turns to run before he can be killed, and Albina, with a twist of her wrist, a shadow extends from the awning on a building in front of her, grabs him by the neck, picks him up, you twist his head. You hear the snap as his head twists, and then it tosses him back onto the pile to be disposed of.
That's the story of 7 unnamed NPCs trying their best against 3 vampires.
So, you all feed to satisfaction on these corpses in front of you before they can cool and the blood becomes unpalatable. And before she lopes away, Larthia looks at you, kind of gives you a doggy nod, a wolf nod, and then fades off into the darkness.
As my head clears, I'm just going to...
What is your humanity rating?
My humanity rating is 6. This was technically self-defense.
Humanity 6 doesn't care about self-defense.
Yeah. Welcome back to humanity.
Welcome to humanity.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Humanity 4 cares about self-defense. I think Humanity 5 might even care about self-defense.
Fair enough. So, conscience roll?
Yep. Conscience roll, let's see.
Shouldn't be so hard though.
Let's see.
Probably difficult to 6.
Beast, Heaven, Humanity. Wanton destruction. Not even injury. This is going to be impassioned violation of another. So that's a level 4 sin. So diff 8. Conscience roll diff 8.
Okay.
1 suck.
Nice.
All right. How do you justify this violence? This letting, even with your, especially with your code of honor.
I tried to give them an out before, and they wouldn't listen. And also, beyond the fact that I did, before the beast took over, try to figure out a way to get this done that wouldn't kill them, I'm also going to, just before we go, take a small token from each of them so I can give them something resembling a decent send-off. Like,
Albina, how do you react to this human behavior by Andronimus in front of you?
At first, she's enjoying herself. She's still coming off the blood high, the prospect of having gotten revenge on the ones that attack her. But as she sees the Andronimus trying to give them a respectful send-off, I think she's going to step over next to him, and she's going to put her feet on top of one of the chests, detached of one of the corpses, and start pressing it in front of him.
if you're trying to make some kind of point, you don't need to. What's done is done. Just let me do what I wish for my own mind.
I'm not trying to make some kind of point. I am really enjoying myself. She continues pressing, she hears the cracking of the ribs. You know, it's a shame that we killed them so quickly. Would love to learn a bit more about them. Do they have friends and family in the city? Perhaps I could pay them a visit. Allies, they are dead, and such informations are not possible to get from them at this point. Unless perhaps I could Unless perhaps you think Labiana might be willing to come with us next time.
Let's just go. And as he like moved to go after gathering the tokens that he needed, something that knowing Albina might provoke a bit of frenzy. Androtimus briefly looks at Albina with pity.
We are so beneath me look. Is that the pity look you are giving, essentially?
Oh, just he is genuinely sorry that she is so far gone.
She sees the look of pity that he gives her. I think it does elicit a bit of anger on her, but also in confusion, but also I think it brings memories of Nicodemus to her. Remembering how back on Capua they had a not too dissimilar situation when she fed on those kids on that house that they came along the way. She's going to quickly move in. She's going to more out of reaction to any conscious thought on her part, slapping. Don't look at me like that. You have not earned the right to look at me like that.
Whatever. Let's just get moving.
Why don't you mention that you saved her ass when she was staked and was going to be left for the sunlight? Andrew Thomas, why don't you mention that?
At this point, it would just be glowing, and Androtimus doesn't feel in the mood to glow right now. You know, he's just been a party to senseless death. He's not going to waste time bolstering his ego.
All right, you guys get out of there, gleefully, with humility and sadness, as befits the situation.
Servants, play a beautiful music for me.
All right. Is there anything you guys, as your characters, wish to do tonight? That we haven't done too much of what you guys want to do. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I think Androtimus's plans for next immediate plans have already been established. He wants to, even if he can't give them necessarily the exact proper burial, he's going to go out of his way to give the poor fuckers at least some kind of send-off.
Okay. How about Decius?
Decius is just studying in his room. That's what he does for the rest of the night.
Right. And Albina?
Albina is going to be spending time with the cult, seeing to their affairs and trying to forget about the look of pity that she got from Androtimus. And try to forget the memories that it brought from Nicodemus and the feeling that and the sensation that of guilt that she might have been the one that drove him away.
Right. What we're going to do is next session, we're going to have to deal with the cult. If you don't deal with the cult and you don't figure out how to reaffirm their loyalty, you're going to start losing them as they abandon you guys for a religion that actually takes care of them,
or at least pretends to.
It pretends to.
We need to. Our affection meter is falling down. We need to take actions which raise that affection meter.
Like when Hat was around, it was some weird toxic place between pretending and genuine. Now there's not even pretending.
Yeah, nah. At this point, there's Labiana, who I would say finds an exotic interest in the cult, but not necessarily a duty she feels that she needs to follow. There's Albina, who uses the cult as her, toy, essentially. There's Decius, who doesn't give a shit at all about the cult. And Hatshepsut is torpor, so yeah, the cult is in a really fucked up position.
Well, I mean, you guys have spent 100 years as cult leaders, so nothing lasts forever. Not even vampires.
Yeah. Doesn't
Alright.
last for forever. It's probably best. I'm just going to say this. It's probably best that if you guys seem to be failing the cult, I think it's just better if you sell it for a boon to some kindred, rather than just losing it fully. Sell it to someone in exchange of a boon before it's too late to even get any value from it.
Anyway, I'm gonna drop for now, guys.
Okay.
Do we get his XP?
You get an experience point for it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. This was definitely some stuff, some interesting moments that I did not expect to happen. Certainly happened tonight.
At least you didn't roll a natural one on the D100. That will be werewolves, probably. Fucking glass walkers.
Anyway.
Anyways,
see
have a
you.
good one. All right.
Bye.
Decius, is there anything that you or your clients need to do before we close up this game?
And Des is already left.
Decius has already left. All right. Albina, is there anything you need to do before we close up this session?
Nothing that I think I need to do. The next game, how much of a time skip do you plan to have between this and the next one?
It's going to be about a week. Because the this is an actual festival. It's I can't remember the exact name, but I literally think it's just called the Festival of the Latins. And it's a bond renewal where the allies renew their bonds with Rome. And so being that it's a festival of renewal, I figured it'd be the best time to get the cult to renew its loyalty to you guys, quote unquote. So next session is going to be that and a little bit some stuff with Androdimus, which I didn't get to today, and some stuff with Astartes and Labiena, let's hope. And then we can talk about if you really want to go see the Selassie or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Have an experience point for tonight. Great job. I really loved your reactions on the end of that fight. I thought that was awesome. So, looking forward to next time.
Thank you. Have a
Okay, guys. Thanks for listening. Appreciate everything that you guys do by listening for us, and hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully next game, my two missing players will both be here, and we can pick up and keep the session going. So, once again, thanks for listening. Have a great evening.